Hello, it's Neil here from Magpie Brewing. So, we've done our first brew on the Cheeky Peak 3V system, of which, well, there's 3 bits of Cheeky Peak in there. And to be quite honest, it was done a couple of months ago. I've been a bit slack getting this video out. But at least we got it out there. So we brewed a pretty simple smash beer. I brewed a beer with Valoria Schooner malt, Voyager Valoria Schooner malt. It's an Australian malt, terrific malt for a smash. And Simcoe hops. I use Simcoe hops really fairly extensively, and I've never done a single hop beer with Simcoe, and I've always thought, well, I should, so I did. And gee, I'm glad I did. It's turned out a nice beer. So we'll go and pour one out. That's what we've ended up with. Now it is really clear, and it's been in the keg for a couple of months. And I've had a few out of it too, but it was this clear out of from nearly the first pour after about 3 schooners. This is about how clear it has been, and even after a couple of months it's retained the hop flavours. The hop flavours have gone a bit, they've tempered a little bit, but I like a hoppy beer to go like that really. I call it gets a bit grounded. Doesn't go to wet grass, soggy grass, but it just, the edge goes off the hops a little bit, and that's when I enjoy my IPAs and pale ales that are fairly hoppy, because the malt tends to come through a little bit and the beers even out really nicely. So we made a couple of blues. We had a good time brewing this. Made a couple of, well, we learned a few things, eh? So, as I said, rookie error. These cheers to rookies. It's a really nice beer. It's one I'll do again. Yeah, so I didn't adjust my grain mill, and after doing Wyman grains, which are fat, fairly fat grain, putting the Valoria Schooner in, which is a fairly small grain, we had a fairly coarse mash. Maybe that's why I've got a clear beer. So I read the figures out. Now these figures will be in the video, in this video. So the gravity after 60 minutes just of mash at 67 degrees was 1.036. After I mashed out, it was 1.0543. So I've got an inkling that my top mash figure was out a little bit, but because I don't think I ever get 2 full points after a mash out. And then my pre-boil come back to just above the mash gravity at 1.0382. That's fairly common, I would have expected, although I may as well explain that now. In a single brew system, when you do your sparge, you just sparge 20 litres. So you put 20 litres of sparge through. And what I done with this is I sparged until I had enough out of the runnings for the boil, which is just under 60 litres or 57, whatever it was. So I just kept sparging the water out. Then I realised in the 95 litre mash tun that when I looked, I still had about 15 litres of sparge water or wort or whatever. I still had a lot of volume of water left in the unit. So I let it go a bit longer, and it was very thin. It was going in very thin. So when I looked, I've got about 62 litres in there. So I was, you know, I'm about 5 or 6 litres above what the recipe called for. So anyway, we give that a boil. I still only boiled for the time allotted, and I ended up with, instead of 42 litres, I ended up with 46 and a half, nearly 47 litres of wort in the beer. And the final gravity came out surprisingly at 1.041. So I expected 48. I got 41. When you take that extra 5 or 6 litres in, I don't think that's too bad. And the yeast brought it back down. It fermented out to 1.009, which is what I expected. And that gave me an ABV, an alcohol volume of 4.33%. I was after 5.1. So overall, yes, you know, the beer itself, nice. Nice flavour. 4.33 is not a bad brew. Probably down a little on mouthful. It might be a little thinner than what it would have been at 5.1. But you can compensate that by having a few more. All in all, I learned a lot. I enjoyed it. And I think we had a pretty good day. So coming up, and it'll follow this video very, very quickly, I hope, within the next week or so, I done a double brew day. So I done my chocolate vanilla coffee porter that I do for winter, and I hot cubed that one and then followed it straight up with another IPA. And I'll get that video out fairly quick, and then the following video after that, we're really going to delve in and try something different. I'm going to try a decoction lager. See how we go. So, fairly successful, guys. Hope you enjoy the video, and cheers. Neil from Magpie Brewing. I'm off to watch the footy. Just a footnote, since I made the brewing video, the boys have come good. They've had a draw or two, and they've had a few wins. Go Pies.